guys, Dr. D Nice Beaujolais here. Happy New Year! Yes! We've started a whole new year and it is First Wednesday. And guess what? This year, our First Wednesday series will be all about sex. We'll continue it into the other years too if you want to. But this year's year, every first Wednesday, we will be talking about sex. But before we get into it, you're like, Dr. D Nice, you look like a pirate. Yeah, sort of, but it's not a pirate. It's called a Jamaican bandana. You want to see it? Hold on. Yep, there it is. So the like plaidish material, that's mostly what, well, the whole thing is called a bandana, and it's mostly made up of the plaidish material. And it's usually like a traditional costume that you wear special times of the year in Jamaica. Anyway, there you have it. Hope you love it. So let's talk about sex, shall we? The first thing we're going to do today, this video is all about an introduction. Really won't answer any questions today, just an introduction. So first question is, what is sex? Look, like for real, not a lot of people know what sex is, because guess what? Everybody's definition of sex is, I won't say totally different, it's different. Lots of people have different ideas what is sex and what sex isn't. Lots of ideas out there. And look, most people will agree, however, that a vagina and a penis connecting equals sex. Most people agree with that, right? Right? You think so. However, there's some people that believe that if you wear a condom when a vagina and a penis connect, it doesn't count as sex. Yup, people believe that. That's why I'm trying to tell you the definition of sex is so broad, lots of gray areas. For our purposes, we're going to cast a broad net so we can catch everybody's question and we won't leave anyone out. Basically, the definition that I'm going to use and we'll use together is any rubbing, stimulation, or pleasurable act that at some point will involve the organs and orifices, that's holes, from the waistline to the mid-thigh. How's that? That's the definition that we're going to use. Any pleasurable act that will involve the organs from the waistline to mid-thigh, so the organs and orifices, and it could include one person, two people, three people, four people, five people, whatever is included, as long as one person is developing or getting some sort of pleasure of stimulation, rubbing, entering, whatever of that area. That's the definition we're going to use. Very broad, okay? And honestly, you know what? I have my own little opinion on why it's so gray. Do you want to hear it? I'm going to tell you anyway. Basically, I think people like to keep it gray so they can't feel guilty about some of the things they do. Because if it's not sex, then you can't feel guilty about it, right? Right? So why are people even feeling guilty about sex anyway? Look, we're going to explore and talk about all of that. Send your questions in to me and I will answer it for you. So the next thing I would like to tell you about is the purpose of sex. Like, what's the purpose of it, right? So there are two things. One is for reproduction and the second is for connection. Reproduction, you've heard of it, you kind of know of it, you have an idea, you know, going half on a baby according to the R Kelly, yeah. So that's reproduction. If you have questions about how all of that works, send it in to me. The connection part. Connection will divide into two sections. Connection is the connection of bodies and the connection of soul. Soul, the inside part of you that really don't even understand well. We don't know where it is, but we know we have it. So the connection can include your body, and you know what that definition is too, you know, we can get all into different types of connections. There's anal sex, oral, masturbation, all of that, just the connection part of it. And then the soul part, where how two people can become one in a sexual act, how you feel so connected. And honestly, that part is not fully understood. And it exists. Okay? Then, one of the other things that we really have to get into at some point is protection. Because guess what? Like it or not, there are consequences to sex. A lot of them are good, and a lot of them are bad. Look, over the course of generations and centuries, we have, as a people, species, whatever, we have developed ways to protect ourselves from reproducing, condoms, birth control pills, things like that, that can protect us. However, so far, there is no soul condom. No soul condom. No way to protect yourself from the effects that sex can have on your innermost being, the part that you can't touch, but you know it's there. We'll talk about that too. Do I understand it all? No, but we can talk about it. Anyway, send in your questions and we'll look at it all. The next question you may have for me is, Dr. D. Nice, what makes you so qualified to answer these questions? Well, I'll tell you. First of all, I am a doctor. I am. And I have seen the good, the bad, and the ugly related to sex. I've seen it. I've seen a lot of it. And I'm willing to share from that with you all and answer your questions related to sex and that experience that I've had. Secondly, I have had some personal experiences with sex. I have. I really have. And I'm willing to share my experiences with you all just to help you all to learn. I made some mistakes and I'm willing to share it with you all. I made some good decisions too, and I'm willing to share those with you all. Let's talk about it. Send your questions in. Thirdly, I've always had an interest in sex. Not that kind of interest, just an interest. Why does sex sell? Why are people willing to compromise everything, their health, their wealth, their mama, their daddy, everything for sex? What is that all about? I've always had an interest in sex, and we'll work together, see if we can get to the bottom of some of these questions that I even have. And the last, but definitely not least, is you can trust me. You can. I will tell you the truth. I'll tell you the truth. There you have it. Anyway, if you have questions for me, send them in, okay? And you're probably asking, Dr. D. Nice, how do I send my questions in? Well, here you go. Questions for drdnice@gmail.com. That's the email address that you should send your questions to. Questions for drdnice@gmail.com. That's the word questions, the number 4, and DRDNICE. I'll put it in the information section below. Send in your questions, okay? Remember, there's no soul condom. Do not wake up love before it's ready. Okay? All right. But if you're having sex, gonna have sex, thinking about sex, had it already, whatever, send your questions to me. Let's explore the topic together so we can make informed decisions and just understand this thing that affects our lives so much. All right. Talk to you later. Goodbye.